We're going to do a double interview today. It's the first time we've ever done one. How y'all doing, gentlemen?
Doing good, man.
I'm going to double that.
All right, great. And I know y'all just put out a book. Welcome to Neverville, right?
Everville, yeah.
Neverville?
Yeah. New. You actually, because you work for our printer, have it before everybody's seen it. So, but yeah, we just finished up Kickstarter July, early July. So still waiting on a couple things to come in before we ship out all the packages. But that went really well for us. Very excited about it. Seems like a lot of people are interested. So
yeah, can I show them the cover?
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, sweet. Here's the cover, y'all. And, well, I don't know if you can really see it. I'll edit it in, but it's like a really good book from what I've just looked through.
That super fancy gloss cover. Woo!
Yeah, man.
So nice.
It is. And you got nice paper too.
Yes.
Yeah, man.
That
book came out fantastic. We got another edition of it. That's the interior is all black and white, and then splashes of red, and then the cover's black and white. And we just this past weekend we splashed red paint on it, and I sent it to Richard over at Impressions, and he was like, "Oh man, maybe we shouldn't have done the high gloss because that probably made it harder on you." I was like, "Nah, man, we figured it out."
All right, yeah, I'm gonna ask him to see it tomorrow.
Yeah, man, you should. It came out really cool.
So what else are you gentlemen working on? I know y'all got a podcast.
Oh yeah, Beards Comics podcast. We mostly interview creators, and it's more of a perspective of what's going on in the indie comic book industry and kind of like behind the scenes stuff. We talk about kind of processes on running a Kickstarter, processes on how we write, how we do art, all that kind of stuff.
All the wrong and everything we do wrong, so you learn from it.
Yeah, exactly.
All right.
Here's our mistakes. Check it out. Don't do that.
All right, sweet. Does that come out? Do you do once a week or once a month?
We originally were like, let's just try to do this like once a month, and we could probably maintain that. But we started in February. We have not missed a week, so we don't really plan on it. It's just keep it rolling as people enjoy it, and it's been growing a community. And we have a little Beards and Comics Discord, and people jump on there and talk about their art and projects they have going on and all that kind of stuff. So it's been a good community building exercise, I guess, for us.
Okay, sweet. And then you can listen to that anywhere podcasts are available, right?
Yeah, it's everywhere. And if you do listen to it on Apple Podcasts, drop that 5-star. Helps us. The algorithms.
Mm-hmm. All right.
All the rhythms.
And tell us about your book. Like, you said this was your second book y'all have done together, right?
Yeah, that's right. It is the first non-superhero book that Catalyst Comics has put out. So we actually decided to launch a whole new imprint, with that being the first book of it, called Uprising, which is where we're going to house anything that's not set in our superhero universe. So the first book that Matt and I did together was Paradigm, and it was more of a let's try to learn this thing. And we just kind of did that together, and then started growing the company and put out a couple other things while we were working on Welcome to Everville. This is the first dark fantasy / horror kind of story that we've even messed with. So it has a lot to do with a family that's kind of on the brink of a worldwide invasion and catastrophe, and they're trying to figure out what's going on. So there's monsters and government conspiracy and all the good stuff.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, we do a lot with Matt and I are both fans of like the classic monsters, kind of like Creature from the Black Lagoon and like the old Dracula and stuff like that. So it's almost a way for us to pay homage to that style of horror rather than just like a slasher comic.
Okay. Mm-hmm. Are you going to do like the whole Marvel universe and build universe, and it's going to bleed into other comics, or is this just like a standalone?
Yeah, so right now, Welcome to Everville is standalone. The reason I laughed is because somebody earlier on the Discord was like, so I wonder who would win in a fight, Tilt or the Neverling. So, and Tilt is our other more, I guess, popular superhero book we have right now. And so it was a funny question, and for you to bring that up right now was pretty funny. But it's going to be one of those things where maybe someday we'll do like one of those what was it, like Batman versus Predator or something like that.
Oh, right.
There's just
Yeah.
two things that don't actually intersect, but they just did it for kicks and giggles. But yeah, there's a superhero universe we have, and then everything else is all separate. It's not based in the same reality, or however you want to describe it. So yeah, this is a standalone, just a 6-issue series. We do have a plan for a prequel series that'll be pretty fun. We can't really describe it because people need to read the first book, so we don't give spoilers away.
Right. Yeah. That's why. Yeah, it's kind of hard to talk about the book.
Thanks.
Catalyst. Are y'all taking submissions, like comic submissions?
I don't know, Matt. What do you want to say on that?
Man. It's a weird journey we've stepped into because we are. It's one of those things where we haven't figured out in the climate that the industry is in now how we would do it as an independent publisher. You know what I'm saying? Like we're still trying to figure that aspect out, as opposed to, like just taking a normal submission, doing whatever. There's a lot of other companies we're kind of looking at and seeing how they're kind of doing it and kind of getting ideas off of it. So we're still in that very baby step. And we kind of have one person that has come up to us and asked, and we pretty much already know we're going to work with them. It's just kind of the deal where it's completely our first thing where it's not anything to do with us. It's all his story. It's all his art. We've seen his art. We know his art. And we're probably going to try to that'll probably be our first one. That won't be anything either one of me and Aaron have our hands in.
Yeah, so that one's a very special, different kind of situation too. Mm-hmm. It's an artist that I've known for a while, and he's actually based in Mexico, and so he can't really crowdfund down there where he is. He can't really even print. So he's just had this book laying around, and he was like, man, if you guys ever want to do something with it, let me know. And so I sent it over to Matt, and I was like, dude, I mean, it's our bro.
Yeah,
and so
exactly.
We're gonna try to mess around, see if we can really figure out something good that'll work for everybody, to where we can get his stuff distributed, because he's an amazing artist. His name is Oscar Alvarado. I think that's how you pronounce it. But just a fantastic artist. He can do all kinds of ridiculously crazy stuff. Does like game design and all that too. But yeah, so we're kind of trying to figure all that stuff out. Is I don't want to say, yeah, everybody send us your submissions, because we don't want to screw anybody over.
Right. Okay.
And just the fact that it's a 2-man operation, we're still small potatoes. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah. we can't put an extra team on, hey, work on their stuff with them yet. We haven't got that point to where we're adding more people into, hey, we need you to help edit this other guy's book while we're working on this and this, it is starting to get a little bit not out of hand, but me and Aaron are starting to be like, man, we're working full time and, still doing this on the side. So we're crunching like all the time, trying to, what's next? How can we grow? What's our next step? So it's a enjoyable craziness.
All right. And where can people pick up your titles? You said Tilt, and
yeah.
Welcome to Everville out now, or is it only Kickstarter?
Welcome to Everville is only Kickstarter for right now. We'd like to do, because it kind of helps us unwind and get in front of people, we like to do like release parties for when the book comes out. And we do that at one of our local shops here. But that one, yeah, we'll probably do a release party, and we always release it for order on the same day. We pump everything through our website because it's a beautiful website, so people should check it out. It's catalystcomicsstudio.com. And so our shop's set up that people can order it straight off there. You can either get digital or physical. And yeah, so Everville right now, it's just going to be Kickstarter. We need to get all those out. We're waiting on our enamel pins to come in, and then yesterday somebody hacked our account. So yeah, we're dealing with all that too. So that'll be soon though. We're gonna ship all those out hopefully by the end of this month. Is the way it's kind of looking. So then we'll probably look at doing something in mid-September for a release for Welcome to Everville, and see that kind of response and see how it grows from there.
All right. Do you have a social media too? Would you use Twitter, Facebook?
Yeah, we do.
Give them the rundown.
Yeah, man. We do Twitter, we do Facebook, we do Instagram. We kind of reformatted the way we use everything though. So I recommend for people that want to really be interactive with us, probably jump on our Twitter. That's something we kind of neglected for a long time. But if they want to interact with us, that's a good way. Instagram is more so just quick little posts, and then Facebook we're really just using it for press releases. And of course, once we start up a new Kickstarter, we'll probably start using it again for that stuff. But we're trying to keep it very focused so that I don't have to wear myself thin doing it, because I'm also running the Beards and Comics Discord and that Facebook page as well. So yeah, if people like to interact, Twitter and then our Beards and Comics Discord is really interactive. People are talking on there pretty much all day, every day. So.
Okay, sweet. And what other book do you have? I don't have the thumbnail in front of me.
Yeah, there's a few. There's Paradigm, which was the first book that Catalyst Comics put out. It's kind of what launched our career in indie comics, and we kickstarted that back in 2018. So Matt and I are still babies in this. We've only been doing this since the end of 2018. The first book actually released, Paradigm, was actually released in March of last year. So we've been publishing about a year and a half. So after Paradigm, we did Tilt issue 1, which is with Joe DeSantos is the illustrator. Ramon Amancio, he is the colorist, who we know will get picked up by Marvel or DC if they still exist soon. And then that book was really well received. So we jumped on to a Kickstarter for Tilt 2, successfully funded that, and that's out. And then we're just on the brink of getting ready to do a Kickstarter for Tilt 3, which will be October 1st. So we have all that kind of stuff for people too.
Oh, nice. So tell us about Tilt. It's just, you told us so far it's a superhero book. What kind of superhero book is it?
Yeah, so it's almost the antithesis of what Paradigm is. Paradigm is a very slow burn story, so you don't even see him in his suit until like issue 3, and we're just now working on issue 2. So people got a while, but I wanted to really slow that down, and so you're riding passenger seat, seeing what forces him to become a hero. Tilt is kind of the flip of that. Right off the bat, it's a dude that was wrapped up in this secretive organization called the Council of Elders, who are kind of behind the scenes running everything. And he was one of their mercenaries. And once he gets the chance to break out, he does. And then he decides to become the hero that Boston needs, at the same time that he's trying to hunt down the council and see who's in the leadership. But his past kind of starts catching up with him, and somebody is hunting him back. So he's starting to build his world, and it's been a really fun story. He's a fourth wall breaker, so he does talk to the audience, which kind of ropes people into the story a little bit deeper. He's a big bulk guy. He's kind of cocky. He was kidnapped when he was like 15, so he still very much has like a teenage mindset on stuff, which adds to a little bit of the humor side of it. So it's gritty, it's fun, but I think people really have connected with Tilt, and it's been exciting to see that fan base grow, and people are really excited about what happens next with him.
All right, sweet. Yeah, we might have to pick that up too.
Yeah, man. If you want, I can show you something that we've been messing with for our Tilt 3 Kickstarter.
Please.
I don't know if people ever do this, but yeah, so nobody's seen this except for our Discord. We haven't really released it yet or anything. I don't know what it's allowing you to see right now. Hopefully
No. Oh.
All right.
So nice.
Trading cards are really becoming a big thing on Kickstarter, and one of the things with Tilt is he's very a trope. So we really play on superhero tropes, and that's one of the ones we wanted to do, where in the course of 2 books, he wears 3 different costumes. So we're trying to catch up now, and so we're actually going to do 3 different trading cards for his character on the next Kickstarter, so that people can kind of catch up with all 3 suits. And then we're going to kind of build it from there. The 4th issue, which will wrap up the first arc, will have the other characters' cards. But this is just something fun that we wanted to do. And yeah, nobody's really seen this, so this is what we're working on for the Kickstarter.
Wow, that's cool. Yeah, that's super exciting. Y'all need to go back to the Kickstarter. We'll pick up the first 2, then go back to Kickstarter.
Yeah, and then of course we'll offer a a deal where people can get all of them or all of because there's also a short story that ties into Paradigm's story, which ties into the whole superhero universe. That's available on Amazon, and it's also available on our website. It's called Silhouette Shadow Games. That's our third, because every superhero company needs a trinity of characters, and ours is Tilt, Paradigm, and Silhouette.
Yeah, tell us about your Paradigm, right? Is the third one?
Paradigm is the first superhero book. He's the first character I ever thought up, first one I wrote. I want to hear Matt talk about Paradigm, because
I don't really know how to explain Paradigm. It's such a he's that. You're the word guy. That's the thing. Like, I'm the artist.
But this is just funny for me.
I know how to draw the way he feels and acts, but Aaron knows how to describe it. That's the problem.
So Paradigm is the story of Ben Fallow. Is the gentleman's name. He's 21 years old when we catch up with him in the story. He has a very traumatic event happen to him when he is about 11 years old, and it causes him to kind of push his powers away. He doesn't touch them for another decade. So when we meet him in this story, he's just trying to live life. He's a research and developer in Charlotte, North Carolina, for a big R&D company, and he has this deal where he gets to keep his tech first if he chooses, and then he can sell it to the company. So smart kid, trying to forget his past, but as pasts always do, they always come creeping back up, and so someone from his past comes crashing back in. So super dramatic ending for the first issue. Like I said, it's a more slow burn story, so it's kind of putting you right next to him so you can see the events that lead him to become Paradigm, rather than just flashbacks of stuff. So we're meeting, the first villain right in the first book, but we're not even meeting him as a supervillain. We're meeting this guy as the counterpart to Ben. So it's a fun story. It's like I said, it's slow burn, so it's not everyone likes slow burn stories, but I really like to get into character development and make you really understand the importance of that character. That was the plan all along, though. We created Tilt to be the character everybody loves, falls in love with, throws us notes at Comic-Cons about how they want them to be their waifu, or terms that Matt and I don't really understand. Yeah. But and then we have Paradigm, who is going to be the one where, a little ways down the road, they're going to realize he's kind of the Batman, and he's kind of the one holding everything together this whole time. So it's just worldly.
Will we see them clash in later issues?
Everything right now is centered around, and this includes the short story, Silhouette Shadow Games. All of it is set around the story of this Council of Elders. So whereas Tilt was a mercenary, he's coming out of the Council of Elders. You have Ben Paradigm, who's just discovering that the Council of Elders is not just a rumor, but it's an actual thing. And he's going to clash because of his past. And then Silhouette Shadow Games is trying to rescue her sister, who was taken by the council, and it kind of plays all together. There are 42 issues slated for the first story block, which leads to the first full crossover of all the characters. So yeah, we have large plans. Yeah.
All right. Yeah, we got some time. One last question for you guys. What gave you the idea to start Catalyst Comics? How did that come about?
I know I wanted to start drawing books, and that was just storytelling. And then once I had actually met Aaron through another friend, and then he was smart because he just told me about one book and not the 42 issues that he had slated. Because I would be like, nah, I'm good. Like I'm still learning.
Right.
About having that, but no, that's for me. That's all. I mean, you grow up watching. I was the 90s kid, 90s X-Men. That got me into that whole stuff, going to the comic book stores, and then I kind of went away from it for a while. I was in skateboarding music. Then I started getting older and coming back to it, getting back into art, and that's once I met Aaron. Then we kind of started collaborating, and I could tell out of all the people that he actually had that. He wasn't BSing me. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's the people that always say they want to do something, but then they never follow through. And Aaron was probably the first person I met that actually didn't do that. And he was like, no, we're going to put out the book. Just keep going. We're going to get it done. And then I was probably about the same for him. It's just like, as soon as we had those doubts, we just had each other's back to do it. And then at first I was just the penciler. And then I think once he realized how, dedicated I was, then he was like, hey, you want to be a partner in this? And I was like, absolutely. So that's kind of how that kind of started.
There was another Catalyst was a thing before, but Matt was the first artist that we hired. And during the time that he had started on another book that's never going to be released because of the other stuff in it. It was around that time that the guy that I was working with kind of just fell apart mentally and kind of backed away. And so I was kind of just handling it on my own for a while. And then, the more I worked with Matt, I finally asked Kelly, my wife, I was like, should I ask Matt to be a partner in this? And she was like, yes. So and Matt and I didn't really know each other that well. We had maybe met a year before that. But yeah, and then he's been on board ever since. And now I need him to be the person that's like, all right, slow down, Aaron.
Yeah, right.
All right. Well, thank both of you gentlemen for coming on. Is there anything you want to say to the people before we go?
Beards Comics. Check out the podcast if you guys are interested in anything to do with indie comics and creating them. If you're a writer, if you're an artist, if you're trying to, or if you're just nosy and want to know what it's like to actually run a Kickstarter and stuff like that. That's kind of what we talk about. This is coming out on a Friday, so yesterday we had Jason Brubaker's first part on the podcast, and then next Thursday, we'll have Jason Brubaker's second part. And those were just ridiculously chock full of information, pretty much anything to do with making your own comic books. So check that out. And then Tilt 3 coming to Kickstarter October 1st is the current plan. So don't hold me to that. But October 1st is the plan. Tilt 3 and then catalystcomicstudio.com for everything you need.
All right. Well, thank you, gentlemen.
Yeah.